Hey everyone, it's Michelle Caruana from Play Cafe Academy. And in this video, I'm going to do something that I don't typically do that often on this channel. I usually save my podcast clips and interviews for my Michelle Caruana channel, where I really dig a lot deeper into marketing and Facebook ads and all that good stuff that I don't really get to cover as much on this channel. But today, I want to share with you a clip from an interview I did with Masha Goins. And you'll see in a few minutes why I wanted to share this interview so badly on this channel. She gives so much actionable advice on how to grow your indoor playground business Instagram, how to convert clicks into customers, and how to really engage with followers in a meaningful way that will translate to actual sales in your business and not just those vanity metrics like followers and likes and things like that that we all know don't actually boost your business's bottom line. So if you're new to this, because again, I don't usually post my podcast clips on this channel, this is just a small portion of our conversation. For the full 1 hour interview that I did with Masha and all of her links and all of her freebies, click on the link below this video and you'll find my podcast and you'll get the full interview. This is just a teaser, but I'm so excited to share this conversation with you today because there are so many different ways to market your local business. And there is so much opportunity on Instagram for the indoor playground industry specifically. So we get really specific. She's talking very specifically to Play Cafe and indoor playground owners. So you don't want to miss this conversation.
So much because local hashtags are so big, right? That's how you can find local businesses and local customers. And that's how you find local accounts, like the local mom account. There are always these, social networks on Instagram that attract your target audience. And those are the accounts that you want to look at in terms of engagement growth. So content growth is one area and engagement growth is another. And what engagement growth is basically engaging with target audience accounts. You're basically knocking on their door by liking their content and commenting thoughtfully on their content. And you're saying hello, right, in a nice way where you're being supportive. And then they pop over to your account and they look at you and they're like, oh my gosh, I had no idea there was a Play Cafe in our area. This is amazing. Like Susie would love this. Oh, we've got to go. I've been thinking about hosting her birthday party. This is going to be fab, so you can't just hope that your content is going to be, get the reach and visibility. There are things you can do to optimize that reach and visibility, but you also want to think about engaging with those target accounts.
Okay, so when we talk about local hashtags, do you have any tips on how someone would go about researching what hashtags to use? Would it be kind of looking at those similar accounts and seeing what hashtags they're using, or do you have a hashtag research strategy? And are we using the same hashtags on every post, or are we mixing it up? Do you have any advice for us there?
Yes, I do. And I know hashtags are one of those things that are so daunting. What even are they, right? And why do we have to use them? And they don't work. And we just it's a lot of times we're just throwing spaghetti against the wall with hashtags. But if you think about hashtags very simply as they index your content. And if your content isn't indexed, it's not in the searchable database of content on Instagram, right? So this is how you can have old content. Like I constantly have people finding me with old content. Everyone thinks Instagram is just like the day you post and then it's over, right? That's why you have to post again. It's like this vicious cycle. But actually, if you really optimize your content for search and discoverability, you can have people finding you through your organic funnel through old content because hashtags are still going to allow it to be searchable. So for local hashtags specifically, you want to use the native search function on Instagram, like the little magnifying glass. And then you want to type in keywords with hashtags. Maybe it's the town that you live in, right? And maybe you're more the county that you live in. right? So you want to start there and start looking at what other hashtags is Instagram recommending, because Instagram is going to tell you the trending hashtags in their search function. They're doing the work for you. And so that's the best place to look, because it also tells you the size of the hashtags. And I know there are all sorts of like hashtag aggregator and look at this, and I have a special hashtag system and these are the best hashtags. Don't bother with any of that, because just make your life simpler and look through Instagram, because they're going to tell you the number of posts, and the number of posts really matter, because you don't want to, let's say you're a local bakery or something. You don't want to be using hashtag cookies, right? There are like millions and millions of posts, and your post is not going to break through on hashtag cookies. But maybe it's, hashtag painted cookie, right? So you want to think about going more niche. And I'm going to give you guys actually just in a nutshell my hashtag strategy, which is, I call it SURF, SURF, right? So you want to be, first of all, S is selective. You don't want to use all 30 hashtags. So you want to minimize how many hashtags you use on your posts. And I recommend somewhere between 5 and 10 is a good number. Then U is uncluttered, right? You want to use hashtags that are not like huge. You want to use really niche hashtags. And the niche hashtags is where you can break through. And that's why local businesses can do so well and grow so rapidly, because they are inherently niche, right? Because you can really make use of that niche status. R is for relevant. You want your hashtags to be relevant to your content, because what happens is if they're not relevant to your image and caption, Instagram will give you a low quality ranking. So Instagram, it's like artificial intelligence, right? It's an incredible platform. But they scan images, right? They have image recognition software. They scan the copy and the captions, and they can tell if the hashtags are not relevant to what you're posting. And if they're not, you're going to get a lower quality ranking, which in turn is going to mean that you're going to get less reach, less people are going to see your content, and even your existing followers, right, are going to not be able to see it. So you want to be very careful with relevancy. It's really important. And then the last one is F for fresh. You want to make sure you don't copy and paste the same hashtags over and over, because again, you're going to get it is perceived, even though you're not spamming, it is perceived as spamming by the algorithm. So what I recommend is, wherever, if you have a Google Doc or, just creating clusters of hashtags that you can use, right? Do the research initially, and then make sure that you can alternate, this cluster, and then the next day you do a different cluster of hashtags, and the next day a different one, and then you can start all over again. But you don't want to do the same ones post after post.
Awesome. And kind of utilizing that whole strategy, what I recommend a lot of people with, indoor playgrounds, play cafes, similar local businesses do is have like a birthday party cluster, have a cafe cluster, something like that. So I don't say it quite as eloquently as you did, but I think that's a perfect way to look at it too, is if you have 5 or 6 different services, you can kind of do the research once for each service and making sure that you're still being fresh and you're still being relevant when you're sharing.
Yes, exactly. And that helps so much when you have those different content buckets, right? Or pillars that you create, and it allows you to kind of organize your content that way. And your hashtags should be organized that way as well.
All right, so you probably understand what I meant in the beginning of this video. I'm sure you got so much inspiration and insight just from that small clip of my conversation with Masha about Instagram. So again, for the full conversation and all of her super actionable tips and tricks to grow your indoor playground business organically without ads on Instagram, click the links below this video. I have all of Masha's freebies. Everything is right there organized in one place for you. If you like these podcast clips and interviews and you want me to do more of them, comment on this video. I love to hear about what you guys would like to see on this channel. And I almost always take you up on the suggestion. So I think every single time someone has suggested a video topic, I've ended up doing it at one point or another. So feel free to comment and let me know what you want to see next. And if you enjoyed this interview, all right, I'll see you over on my podcast feed. Bye, guys.